Hi guys, so welcome to episode 2 of Build to Scale. This is a series for plumbing and heating business owners to help them transition off the tools, help them grow an asset of their business and eventually transition off the tools and become more strategic and run their business and eventually end up with an asset that they could sell. So quick question for you before we dive into this episode. So the holiday test. So if you took a couple of weeks out of your business tomorrow, you've got no phone, no email access, what's going to happen to your business? Is it going to continue to generate money, or is it eventually going to stall and there's going to be no revenue coming into the business? So if it's the latter, then this is definitely the episode for you. So let's look at a couple of things. So most construction businesses don't hire any employees. They might have some subcontractors, but they don't hire any employees. And for those ones, and they're happy with that, that's fine, because obviously employing people comes with additional responsibilities and sometimes headaches and problems. I get that. But if you do want to scale and grow and create an asset of your business, at some point you're going to need to cross over that threshold and start employing people. But 78% of the businesses, trade businesses, never hire an employee, so they stay as owner operators forever. That creates problems because you are suddenly the one that is responsible for everything in the business. So, if this looks familiar, where you're taking all the calls, you're doing all the quoting, and you're doing the installations, then you are the bottleneck to the business. You are the bottleneck for future growth, and you've got to change that one-man band mindset, because it's not going to serve you in the long run. So you're going to need to start to look at how you overcome that ceiling and how you grow. There's essentially 5 symptoms that we see of plumbing and heating businesses that stagnate. They don't grow any further. And like I said, for some, that's perfectly, they're perfectly happy with that. But if you are ambitious and you do want to grow your business further and you do want to create it as an asset, these are some of the symptoms that you're going to need to overcome. So you're the only one that's doing any quotes in the business. You're working till 9, 10 o'clock at night because nobody else is trained in the business to do it, or you've got nobody else in the business that can do it. Panic sets in when your pipeline starts to dry up or leads start to slow down because you've got no system, you've got no marketing system that's going to generate leads for you. You're used to using paper too much, so there's a paper trail. So you're making notes on bits of paper or making notes in your phone, but there's no sort of cohesive system to track any of this stuff. Maybe you've paid for marketing services in the past and you've been burnt, and that's totally understandable because that does happen. So you're reluctant to sort of hire any outside help. You're really busy, but are you really profitable? So you're flat out, but you don't know your margins. You don't know how much it's costing you to attract a lead into your business. So you're essentially sort of flying blind. If you've ticked 2, 3 or more of those, then you've definitely hit a ceiling that's holding you back from further growth. This is such a crazy stat when I see this stat. 47% of small business calls go unanswered. That is crazy. And it can be even higher in some industries, and especially trade industries, because you're under a sink, you're in a cupboard, you're up a ladder, whatever it is. You're not picking up the calls. And even worse, there's no system in place to track those missed calls. And it's really easy to do, by the way. There's so many systems and automations that can text a customer back as soon as you've missed a call to sort of say, hey, look, sorry we missed your call, we'll call you back shortly. 78% of customers buy from the first business to respond to them. And if you're not responding within a few minutes with some sort of communication, you are leaving food on the table for your competitors. And often it's not the best business that wins the quote, it's the one that gets back to them fastest. So look, here's a simple sort of equation here. So if you just miss 5 or 6 calls a week and you've got a typical 50% win rate, might be higher, might be less, take your average job value for a boiler installation, and they're not all going to be boiler installations. Some might be boiler repairs or boiler servicing or minor jobs, but on average, there is between 50 and 75,000 pounds, which is left on the table by not having a system in place to get back to calls quick enough. And that revenue could potentially get you your first employee. So that's something to really think about. And then the other concept here, which is holding you back from scaling and growing, is this admin trap. Lots of plumbers and plumbing and heating businesses that I work with, this is one of the first things that we try and fix for them, is to get them some admin support, either in the way of digital tools or physical help to get them some of that time back. So they can be losing as much as 18 hours a week. So 2 days can be spent doing admin, and it might not be spent in the 9 to 5, but it's often spent in the 5 to 11, that 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. sort of time. And that causes burnout. It causes, frustration, mental health issues, because you're not getting enough sleep. Panic starts to set in, and you end up in this spiral of stress. So a case study that I just want to talk to you about, mentioned him in a few other episodes, is Jordan. So we've been working with Jordan for about 5 or 6 years. We're coming into our 6th year. And he has made that transition from being on the tools 100% of the time to now really being off the tools and just covering holidays and sickness. And he's done that by following a process. We call it the Book Solid system. And it's where he's now been able to put systems and processes and technology in place in his business, so that he's not missing calls. He's got a CRM system that's emailing customers. A lot of the work in the back end is automated. He's got a kind of marketing engine which is delivering leads for him on a regular basis. He's built his brand, known very locally for being very high quality and great customer service, and he's got all the reviews to back it up. So he's been able to kind of gradually break through that, and this doesn't happen overnight. This is a gradual process of, tackling one thing at a time in your business, so you can break through that ceiling. So here's 3 things that you can look at fixing in your business, which is going to give you time back, which is going to help you break through that ceiling. So the first one is look at a job management system. So moving from paper-based or just spreadsheet-based systems to a proper tool, and there's lots on the market, Tradeify, Powered Now, Surefire, there's loads of tools on the market that can do a lot of this heavy lifting for you. So taking the job from the website, putting it into your job management tool, allowing you to automatically issue gas safety certificates and everything like that, cutting massively down on paperwork. You can set it up so that it can remind customers in a year's time to book their boiler service, so that it's a revenue generating tool as well. It should pay for itself. The second fix is, this missed call. 47% small business calls go unanswered, and it's so easy to fix. We have a system, we have a CRM tool which is designed for plumbing and heating businesses, that it will automatically message a customer if you miss a call and just remind them that we'll call you back in a few minutes, so that the customer knows that they've got a response, that somebody's onto it, and ultimately it's going to, again, win you more business and pay for itself. And getting some admin support. Number 3, getting some admin support. So there's lots of kind of virtual based admin support, and a lot of specialists as well, admin support for trades and construction, people that understand the industry, understand your pains and frustrations you're going through. So this is about plugging these leaks in the business, and those are just 3 simple ways that you can do that, which is ultimately going to give you time back. Is going to give you additional revenue so that you can start breaking through that glass ceiling, and start hiring people. And this is the result of doing the right things consistently over a period of time. We live in this kind of Amazon Prime world where everyone expects instant results, and it just doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you consistently put systems and processes and tools in place in your business over a number of years, that's what's going to get you to this kind of growth trajectory. So here's a little action plan for you before we wrap up. So step one, you need to audit where the leakage is. So have a look at your mobile phone. How many missed calls have you had in the last 30 days? And just do some rough maths on that. If you've missed the call and you've not called them back within an hour, that lead is pretty much going to be dead. So count the number of missed calls you've had where they've not left a message, and kind of average that over a month. So if you missed 5 calls this week, 20 calls a month, let's say you win 50% of them, what's your average sale value? And just multiply that over the year, because you'll be staggered at how much you're missing. And that's an easy fix. You can get a call answering service very cheaply. There's lots of AI tools that can be deployed. And at the very least, you can have a text back system in place if you miss a call. So number 2, where are you storing your information that you're gathering from customers? Is it going onto a notepad, or is it going into a proper CRM system or job management tool? So number 3, track the amount of time that you're spending on admin and how much of that could be automated using job management tools like Tradeify, Surefire, Powered Now, or any number of tools like that, and having a proper CRM system in place where you can store all of your customer data. So CRM, by the way, stands for customer relationship management, and it's slightly different from a job management tool in that job management tools are more about taking and managing that job, whereas CRM, customer relationship management, is more about how you look after that customer data in the future so you can remarket new services to them. So there's 3 things that you can do that's going to stop your business from stalling and hitting that ceiling. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. We've got episode 3 coming up next week, and we're going to look at your reputation and how you can grow your reviews. Your reputation is really important. It's everything about your business, and it can mean the difference between feeding at the bottom where everybody else is and going after the premium work, because not everybody shops on price. People are looking for quality, reliability, and trust, and your reputation can deliver all those things. So listen, I hope that episode was good for you, and tune in next week, and thanks for watching.